your jurisdiction. Yeah. Of course, there will be MPPs in there.
Yeah.
Are you saying that when it comes to development, you would rather give it to those who are NDC and not those who are MPP, even though all of them are resident of your metropolis?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you are a Ghanaian.
Yes, I am.
If your mother is cooking the food, possibility everybody will eat and be satisfied. But when your mother is there, you will have extra food you can eat at midnight. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway, let me not take you on that. But Chief, thank you for coming to. Would you mind, what's your name saying? Where are you coming from?
I'm Alote Gezi, the mayor of Kwale Klote.
The Gezi thing struck a chord. Of course, you've also seen it. What's your own assessment?
So far, so good. We've been to a few polling stations, and it's quite calm. At this point, most of the polling stations we've been to, we have about 50% voter turnout. We are hoping more would come, but generally it's been very peaceful. We are hoping this continues, results are declared, and we all go home peacefully with the winner being declared. Yes.
The people of Akwatia are watching you now. What will be your message to them?
Our message is that everybody should go about their voting peacefully. We know the party that we want to. I'm coming from the NDC stock, so I'll prefer NDC winning. So everybody should go about his voting. We should vote quietly and move to our homes. 5 o'clock we come, they declare results. We are happy. We move to our home, and life continues.
5 o'clock we win. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying, like I said earlier on, I come from the NDC stock, and we want NDC to win. Our people should vote and vote massively. They should turn out. We have just about 4 hours to go. They should turn out, come and complete the voting for us. 5 o'clock we are declared winners, and life continues.
But there was something I saw earlier, which had the potential for, two sides to probably lay a finger at each other. You are leaders of the NDC. What would be your message or advice to your followers in terms of playing your role to ensure the sort of unity we've seen here is the same till we all leave Akwatia tomorrow morning?
We are saying provocation should be ignored. When you see someone provoking you, just let the person go. We have police officers here to check on those things. So when somebody provokes you, the police is there, they take care of it. Don't get involved in any fight or anything. Yes, that's what we are saying. If somebody offends you, ignore the person. The police are there to handle those situations. Don't fight back. That's all that.
It's reassuring. What about you, sir?
The same. What I want to tell people is that, you see, Ghana is one country. NDC and NPP are all Ghanaians. And party, after party, there is life. You see, so I beg everybody, both of us here, standing here, it's coming from Kwale Klote. I'm from Okankwe South. But one thing I can assure everybody is that whatever he doesn't like, I don't use it to do. I don't do that for what he doesn't like. So the same way he also doesn't. But if he does it, and I think that, why don't I walk away? Fight is not an option. You understand? Fight is not an option. I believe if somebody does something to you, the best thing is to ignore the person. Ignorance is powerful than fighting. When you are quiet, it's more powerful. So I beg everybody, let's live in peace. We have only one Ghana. And God bless us, and God bless Ghana, and God bless the AMA.
Okay, all right. So that's the mayor of Accra. This is still our coverage of the elections here in Buadua, in the Akwatia constituency. Well, let's still speak to some more people here who have also been here monitoring the process. I've seen you going about watching what's happening. What's your name? Where are you coming from?
We actually had to wait, apart from that incident, we be biara we are bringing and as from 10 a.m. at Derebano, we be boni biara AC, I will hold on back as we be boni be AC. Now, so for Azoka, in an interview, Mankasa in an interview, Waka Kangasa, no say, he and only NDC for not because he said, yeah, one move to trust another Wakoya Bonnet, but a Fenyomakin as a minority leader to a NPP for one more parliament, he should know better. Say, ya kotua, but no be national so the body office and yet biaya nko yan to aba and your polling center one political party office and a one party parliamentary candidate ni poster eboho. So one tier to say he as a minority leader who should know better and a lawyer for that matter, no, he shouldn't have gone to that extent for his boys to go and then what better tell one NDC for one piece, you know, me process now me shom kakra me ye was high incident no so here me ko honom akoni esi na even the general secretary of the New Patriotic Party Justin Supokobia na otikaya na apenyama ke not mubi but he was in the car when system anko yesebiro anaso nko tete eye bi posters ni bi not no so really nobody knows obi ni ntia bi ana apenyama ke on any boys no so what to stand na mo no but enwechi no omotumi a resolve ewo ehonum ya NDC for office and enyete bi ana ya NPP officer omodi posters no akobo ho na wakotete ewo honum ejenu so pa won a resolve ako mamitu ba no ba no bi kwa mane bi se bra mi ko puemu ewo one of the centers.
Yeshasa Sabasan Aka Akrakofidako na Yanino Ato Komono eso
witness as a North by election and we witnessed the recent one Ablekumano. But what we are saying is that police work should be more of intelligence, identify certain flashpoints and certain people who are posing threat. Somebody like Howard Kumsin, if you see Howard Kumsin here, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that this lady is likely to cause chaos. If we see Azoka, this morning I got to a place where Azoka and Master Wudu of NPP, they are all vice chairman of NDC and NPP. And Azoka slapped Master Wudu when they were having hot argument. All these things, the moment you see these two people together, we know Azoka, when he moves with his boys. And we know Master Wudu to be somebody who is a loose talker. He talks anyhow and he threatened violence. I think one of your media stations, he actually pulled their camera down. Is it, I don't know whether it's Joy or TV3. Yes.
I mean, so the point is that so, the two of them are here, nothing has happened. Why should...
No, but they have slapped each other.
Yeah, but it hasn't degenerated into anything.
That is, so what I mean is that you identify people of this character and rather give them some close marking so that their actions should not lead to something else. I know there are some other polling stations in Akwatia here that are known to be flashpoints. These are areas that the police should target. But current 5,300 police. Now all hotels are occupied with police. All other areas, go to the villages. Now this is the case. People are afraid to even ask their children to come out to vote. Look at the vote turnout. This is almost the 10th polling station, voting center we have visited. And the turnout is low. Why? Because people are scared. They are in their own town and they saw police all over. They saw strangers and, you know, they will be scared. So I believe I equally share the concerns of some of the parents who refuse to allow their children to come out to vote in the absence of them. So I believe next time the police can also improve on this aspect so that their presence or their actions should not just resolve violence but intimidate people from coming out to vote.
I'm grateful to you. So we'll still be here to gauge the mood of how the process is.
Just 5 minutes ago, Anthony Ameriban from Emirates, a certain media houses has quote unquote be giving some sort of accreditation at one Bettina Coalition Center, but we from XYZ Broadcasting Limited. And let me tell you, these media houses has to do with Wanga beer, Wanga Jumayemu for whatever the reason. And about to Jumakunu one more money and country or compile a name of a media houses from Accra to be given an accreditation. So as it stands now, XYZ Broadcasting Limited, we don't have access to the final collation center. We've been there, but this is what they told us, that we don't have that access. Now, Adibaku in social media, meaning by you said this is our challenge. What can they do to help us, to support us, to make sure that we can equally get that first-hand information from the final collation, and then the results are able to me about. Opanyini say yamani break akra na ebia obetumi aye hu bribi ade amayen. This idea, the electoral commissioner in the eastern region and then the district and national no they are giving a certain media houses an accreditation. Mami come to Bancham say one of them share me live for Facebook and I said TV National. This same accreditation and them various media houses are one monitor elections, Akwatia, but they have been given a certain names again and written and signed by Madam Jean Mensah to be able to assess the final college center. But for us, they've not given us that access. Whatever has gone on, and we've been to everywhere. And I don't think Yanga will be untoward. In Kenya, Ebian no pano in some see and opani dia like ye need say no one compile a certain media houses name say one any access final collation. Mami can to go this media houses are younger compile one by that final one month so no only one casa almost a wolimushi but wo and a woman to list no on sa etumi aka etiako obisamia so far so very good ewaha mami free over near thing this is a biaya police for a one barracks abatono erikoso ewo ahanam eti ubedru hanum barricade no send esi honen a police for no one abobang ewaha and as usual one hano they are more than 10 making sure the process no ebekos peacefully. There me boa mane na nkasa no so edility area brain so send me di kan no this is a police barracks I know yenga kira e wo so GTD police barracks live e wa hanu a yenga tiefo na hwefo nyina wo behu senia adwumade no erekoso won a wo ba beto aba no so no akọ toto na so egusu jina kium and political parties no won agent so e wa hanu a won erehwe. Before you enter into the police center, Nankasano, a police people ewaha, a binimuni, echina hanum, and they will tell you that if you have an accreditation, no one room, and this is a police center, Senia ewahanumu, Ankasa, Eninga, Bidia Erikoso peacefully, ewo a police barracks, so Akobi Samia, the process so far peacefully, everything, Akosuye. We are only waiting for the 5 p.m. Senia Yanga Batu say Yanga Batu Intentem say by 5 p.m. you better baby na young aye sort in Yanga King Kangano. And no any idea Erisha Sabri. Ushaki Luma I said Nipampo Ezedenia Bibri. And the electoral officers no Ube online Ewa Hanuma Wamu Eya Wangajima. Obinu Abe to Obabe to Naba Ewa Hanumo Tinemo Warisha said Obemano. Na otimi akoto abano domestic election observers Kodeo and other observers like journalists and other broadcasters both local and international journalists no in there ya wahanuma ya monitor the situation so far so very good. Our challenge right now has to do with the accreditation to the final collation center, which according to Mr. Bafo, the Eastern Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, has told me that it was done from the headquarters in Accra. That is the only challenge. We are waiting to see that if there will be any changes or there will be something somewhere for all of us to get a level playing field to report the process, as it is and as the results come. So far, so very good. Eti, you are still here from Akwatia. You are monitoring. Whatever happens, we will make sure that our viewers, listeners, both online, on our radio, and on social media, then who am I able so ako
Makra accreditation ho asem na me pese me bisa kakra na woni mpanifo di nkomo no wo mo si criteria ben no mo gina so wo mo nyina so ne senti a ekoba se wo mo ma a certain media houses bi special accreditation na mo amaka ne de yayi mu afirim no mo so mo nyina so pa ene say
Mr. Bafo, the Eastern Regional Director of Elections, when to me Anchera Ankase, Biana, or was Anina Suway, and as an Yetini, and as an Yemuko, Intina wanted to Sana Mono. When to me Ankasa, only Nyoka ni say ora Kofi da Akwatia Akra mesraw sa accredited media houses what the ding every and crank about to Jumakuno Wanga to make a team. The national headquarters of the Electoral Commission and what did these media houses in bread. But on criteria, one more selected these media houses. Guess what? An opano brand media and body by Namika police commander with his name Ragati prevent him initially from reporting a year from Chrome Honomo. Or catch the meeting or me from accreditation channel. And he preventing me with this one. And let me say it on a he said he later on went and saw that of a Joy News reporter own. I know who it is. And also Medina. And interestingly, multimedia names was included in the so-called accredited media houses that will be reporting from the final collation center. And other one. So I think I say so why style be me report to you superior back police panyin bi back who no ni dibia no esum say ni ana first no prevent him or buy on say allow XYZ people to monitor and report as it is because me kind of they were monitoring.
Not a mean member of parliament but a minority leader, a significant figure in our democracy being pummeled and beaten. Because the people that will come there, they may probably even identify or not identify you, and they will beat you.
Okay.
And in some instances, these are just needless provocations. We can handle these situations with more tact, more maturity, and understanding of what democracy is all about.
Doc, you were doing the math, and it looks as though you and Bernard, you're both concerned about the numbers, and as well you are even concerned about the finance of it. Let me get some clarity. Are you concerned about the number of police presence or how much we're spending on the police personnel? And while at it, help me understand, why are the people intimidated by the police?
Okay. Amifa, Honorable Mona is basically, he's right. The concern is not only for the quantum of police officers. In fact, the actual number that the IGP said is 5,500. So the gentleman who spoke actually reduced the number.
That's true.
First of all, the IGP has created a model for election supervision by the police. If during the general elections we don't have this kind of police detail, violence will erupt in 2028. Because everybody is expecting this Akwatia model of police presence to become the standard. If you cannot repeat it, it's going to be horrible.
Will it be an expectation for all electoral areas, or it will be an expectation for certain places that security persons like to describe as hotspots?
All electoral areas.
Really?
Seriously. Secondly, when people see so many police officers, they think something is wrong or something bad is going to happen. And so they tend to be a little bit reticent about going out. They're a bit reluctant to go out. So I can understand why some parents don't want their children to go and vote. But I think they should presume that there's going to be peace and try and go and vote quickly and go back home.
Okay.
If we are looking at the size of the police, I was only talking about the feeding cost. Can you imagine the hotel room cost? And as Honorable Mona is saying, we have a lot of issues.
Doesn't matter that not all the 5,500 was deployed in August, but just about 600 of them were deployed earlier. And then quite recently, the remainder joined them.
It would have been quite reasonable.
That's what happened anyway. The 5,500 were not deployed all at a time in August. Some preceded.
Periodically. Okay.
Will it then matter now that a little over?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, huh?
We are talking about just 119 polling stations.
Yes.
At best, each polling station should have maximum 3 police officers.
Yeah.
At maximum. Nothing more, nothing less. At a minimum, one police officer should be able to stand there with others patrolling. What is it that will warrant this humongous number of police personnel at the place? Certainly, it is because of what took place in the rerun of the 19 polling stations at the Ablekuma North and the nasty occurrences. And also some of the intel that we picked, that some political parties were mobilizing tax over 4,000 to invade Akwatia. And if you picked those intel, it was important for you to act upon them. And if so, a political party was to bring about 4,000 people to come and cause the mayhem, then the police will be justified to say, let's outnumber that number.
Do we give them that credit that they may have picked that intel?
Of course, I picked that intel, and I'm sure that, not mentioning names, I send concrete evidence to some of the officers responsible that this is what is being done. And some of the people that were actually asked to do the recruitment were worried. That why should I go and bring people from Boku? Boku is having its own crisis. Why should I bring people from Soutuom? Soutuom is having its own crisis. That they should go and fight some needless issue. So even as they were taking resources to be able to do the recruitment, they didn't feel that it was relevant. And we shared this intel with the security agencies. But I'm saying that if you bring tax, and the police has succeeded in saying that it is zero tolerance for weapons. So even those that have licensed weapons are not supposed to go there with your weapons. If you get the report to the nearest police station, hand over. After the by-elections, you can take your weapon and go. So you didn't need this number of police personnel to be there. Not at all, at all. And see, do you know what it means for the IGP to be stationed at a place? The IGP and then the security around him alone will not be added to the 5,500 police people.
Certainly not.
The second in command and all the COPs, the security around them will not be added to, because those security will be exclusive to monitor the COPs and DCOPs. And that number is not added.
So from a security point, what is wrong? Did you expect that the IGP would be there? But before you answer that, let's go to Akwatia now, where I think the NDC's parliamentary candidate is there to vote.
I have been able to read the book, and it's a ring, and ring.
Well, yeah, can you come to something? What you have to about? Oh, by saying,
Akwatia, and it's Namidi. I mean, say, you better abano, a bear soon. And so I kept Namika, radio, Sonia, dear say, Yanka Akumantia, your Machotia BNC. And Panso, Zamunia Mobile, will be a Yanajuma Kama. The name is a major issue. Yes, I have them. That is Akwatia for you. Yati Mase, process night come apart. You be at an aquarium. Electoral Commission fire or Majuma Senior say. Bambo body, Unyaku Shroud. For my as professionals, they might be BNC. So far, BNC. I feel so. Almost say a year or my name, a year more to a balance so to be a comporting of yes, so your answers will be a so far. When I'm not going to be a could come. Yeah, we get a compatible problem. No, we share only to the trouble about no China. So I can buy it. By election, yeah, to the beer. All right, yeah, you can try your odd man numbers and will form Kaka. In Yan, radio, someone movie Aquatiana, the Bian Aquatia, say, now more bits you'll be a mount, kindness or bunny plum better about none yam session. Yan try a cassa and some yam free cream, mobile Hayatia fair. Well, so Sabi, what's the radio so I don't know, maybe no more bohua, ya Frebby, if you say at the Beba. Ebi nam kwan so ya bom pai so mbetumi aba bebi ni nya yesia de mai abe abato onye bibia bia ense ntokwa anabasabasa esi ya adwenkyere ye wi a oman no bekoso akọ ni esese ekọ ni obedi nkunim ye ni ebe cha na chi eye politics ni eye ye pe ni obedi anim na obedi anim na echika fo no anazo mo edi wachi ni ho biwa na wan na odi eti so far no eno na ama e wo form kakra, but the good thing is baby, I may be a strong one. Who said about one? If you could see the tapas, look on her vote, if you all bar, a pija. There are no more indication. Meaning, I'm saying, I'll go with my own match. So, Ukroma, if we definitely over was through this, a whole vote, no cost right as a Samato. Do corners a relatively no Kaba election, you can call it me 5, 10, but I do 12, 15, 20. Let's say, at least you have an idea, say, a good amount. Machomen, then Tino. So far, Yamiado, make we.
You know about these who a coin you maybe also. If you say, I didn't know to Abana, you can't over room hunter one, and yet now it's what. Now, some Pomono in what your one says. Your Mahama and they said, no, I'm going to Chief Justice report. Yeah, to by election, Pierre Jam. And now,
Well, you have just been hearing from the NDC's parliamentary candidate, Bernard Baidu, who is just insisting that the areas where he comes from, Tokorase and the other community, he sees that his votes are quite increasing, and that's a good indication for him as well. He also is reassuring that from the beginning of campaigning, or even when he elected himself to want to represent the party, he's been assuring that Akwatia is quite peaceful and is a little over 1 p.m. and he thinks that the pockets of violence is not enough to say that Akwatia, and to use the word, will burn, as persons who do not come from Akwatia have been purporting over the days since campaign started and all of that. And so it's just very reassuring that Akwatia is quite a peaceful place, and the election will run till the end of the polls still peaceful. Now, back in the studio, Dog, I was just asking that, is it strange that you have seen the IGP, despite the little over 5,000 personnel that he deployed, he himself as well stationed there? Now I'm hearing that all these 5,500 personnel were not needed. Top of it, he himself goes there. What does that even mean?
There are issues. There is a positive side and there is a negative side. The positive side is that it's okay for him to be there and support his team. He's in a gutter with his personnel. And I admire that about a leader who does that. But having said that, he has also removed himself from the overall safety and security concern of the rest of the nation, because he is the center of decision-making, critical decision-making in security matters around the country.
Right.
So if you are concentrated in one spot, it means that other spots are not that important to you, even though they are equally compelling issues, security issues and safety issues. When you look at what has happened in Banyere and other places, attention needs to be paid to those places as well. So for me, it is difficult to divide himself into two and be everywhere. And he decided that he's going to be at Akwatia. The model that he has created is very difficult to sustain for the future. Very difficult. It also exposes the country to greater risk. If I were a criminal gang, and I know that you have so many police officers in one place, you are weak in other places. It creates a security dilemma. You are strong in one place, and one place you are weak. Bank robbery, armed robbery, heist. It is a very serious vacuum cleaning that he has created. And we need to look at it very well, study it with his crew, and try to improve upon it if this is the way to go. If not, we're going to have serious problems in the future.
Bernard, you're a politician. As we know, Parliament, NDC's got the majority. You've just been saying it here now. NPP as well. Now, what do you think is encouraging these two political parties to want to insist that they must win Akwatia elections, the seats by all means? What is encouraging? What are the motivating factors for NPP? And what's the motivating factor for NDC?
Apart from an ego trip, I don't think that there is any significance for any of the two political parties. Seriously speaking. I have already alluded to the fact that a win of Akwatia for the NPP does not change their status from being the weak minority that they are. a win for the NDC does not change their status from being the strong majority that they are. And it is not this one seat that can change or tilt anything in the parliament that we have currently. And so this grandstanding in Akwatia is absolutely unnecessary.
You don't think it's a call for confidence for the NPP?
Which confidence?
A call for resilience that in the face of our losing, we're here. We told you that this is not the party to be with.
Akwatia is a seat that has been vacillating between the NDC and the NPP.
Yes.
And I'm sure that on equal numbers, they have won it at the same level. And so it is not a seat that any political party can claim is our own. Depending on the candidate you put up and depending on the economic situation and also the expectations of the people, the dynamics in Akwatia keep changing, right? So it can change now, and in 2028, it will change, right? So given such a constituency, this fight is unnecessary. See, Dr. Norman just put out the thing. Will the IGP be able to put up, assuming that we have 3 by-elections taking place, we know 3 by-elections taking place, will each of the stations, each of the constituencies have 5,000 men?
Not all of the constituencies have a history of violence during elections.
Oh, Ablekuma North had history of violence, but it happened.
It has. So you're asking, okay, well.
Ablekuma doesn't have that history, but it happened.
And it's the reason why Ablekuma, he didn't deploy 5,000.
I'm saying that, so you cannot rely on trend analysis to project in accuracy what is going to happen in future. And so given that the fluidity of these issues will determine what will happen, how could anybody anticipate that a 3rd vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party and a 1st vice chairman, people at the pinnacle of leadership, will go and start exchanging blows? So when you at the top are exchanging blows, the people that you are going with, what will they do?
Continue.
What will they do? What will anybody think that the minority leader will get down from his car, walk and go and see a poster and start tearing it? How do you expect the people around you to react? And so the IGP has been soft. He spoke tough, but he's been soft. By now, I shouldn't be seeing him and Alhaji Mashood exchange it. As soon as we got there, oh, you were the people fighting. Go and relax in the Black Maria. So they take you to go and relax in the Black Maria, carry my brother Azoka to the Black Maria, carry the minority leader to the Black Maria, things would have settled. Then everybody will know that it doesn't matter your standing in society, but if you become a center for violence, the IGP will act. But they are working, they are still there. I see them talking. So what it means is that we are looking for other people rather than the creme de la creme to get them into the Black Maria. When you do that, you are not giving confidence to the system that you yourself have put there. Look, are the people of Akwatia, the young people, are they aware that the most important natural endowment for them is diamonds? Are they aware that the state-owned diamond company, the Great Consolidated Diamond Mines, has been sold? Are they aware that their source of livelihood has been yanked away and auctioned to private interests? So if they are aware and they reason with me, then this by-election, probably, they should have been sitting somewhere and just watch people come from Accra, come and walk around and see whether your walking around will translate into the vote. Because see, we elect so that we'll be able to improve our lives. We do participate in these processes so that we can get better services. And I have said time without number that for some awkward reasons, anytime we do elections and put in leaders, They come to tell us that the IMF says that we should reduce the number of people that we have employed, or we are employing. For some reasons, they come and tell us that the IMF and World Bank say that the state should sell off things that can bring them revenue and hang on to things that will give them expenditure. Check the list of things that the state has sold out. They are those that could bring revenue to finance the expenditure of the state.
Back to Akwatia. The election in its entirety is not necessary.
No, because if you go and do elections and your economic situation is worse than before, why did you struggle to be in the elections?
What then should happen after the demise of NSD Alchemy?
I'm saying that aside having a representation in parliament, what else do you get? In any case, this is a direct attack on our democracy. You go to parliament and then your parliament is in the whip system. Even when you have a different opinion, the whip system says that this is the position that we hold. So you cannot express contrary opinion to the position that your party or your side of the house holds.
Was it not because of history and what had happened years ago where, you have a government whose representation in parliament is not enough for them to be able to implement their policies? This is not where the whipping system started.
But democracy is about allowing people to ventilate and to speak about issues of concern to them. But now democracy is like, no, you cannot speak about the issues that afflict your people. You must take the general stance. Our party says that we are going to do this.
Yes.
So everybody must do it, even when you disagree. So when we decided, for instance, that we are going to sell Ghana Telecom, people who oppose the sale of Ghana Telecom still had to be shipped to go and vote. So what is the benefit of democracy in such light? And I'm saying that after your vote in Akwatia, they come back to Accra. Your MP, whether NDC or NPP, will be restricted in advocating for certain things because the party whip system will not tolerate it. And worst of all is that, in fact, before you can even make a statement on the floor of parliament, it must be with the support and agreement of your leader. Otherwise, you will not get the chance to make the statement. So you see that our democracy and our parliament is a pretentious one.
You're watching the live coverage of our 360 coverage of the Akwatia by-election happening on the way. It's almost 2 p.m. Started at 7 a.m. and it's been some hours. Recorded a few pockets of violence, maybe, or skirmishes, which is the language you like to use for today, at least. But you also see and know that there's heavy security presence as well in Akwatia. A little later, our lead data and research analyst, Isaac Kofi Eje, will join us shortly for some geospatial analysis for you to understand the geographical area of that Akwatia and why maybe it was necessary for that 5,000 or a little over 5,000 security personnel to be present over there. Again, let me speak to the politician. Bernard, so PNC is not part of this election, but have you done your personal analysis and your projections beyond the global info analytics research? They have projected that the NDC's candidates will win per the samples based on the data they have done. For you, from where you sit, how was it looking for both parties?
Well, I think that it will be, because Akwatia is not an out-and-out one-party constituency. There are constituencies that we do know that the numbers will tell you that this political party with just a little effort will win. But Akwatia is not one of such constituencies. And if you take the outcome of the 2024 elections, for which reason our late brother, Ernest Kumi, was even still battling, it tells you that the margin of victory was just too narrow and very close. And therefore, any political party can win it. Now, if that was the true reflection of this people's choice, then today, it's obvious that the NPP has fizzled out. They have lost the steam among the people. Two things will happen. And I heard your reporter ask people, when they said that when your mother is in the kitchen, you are certain to have some good food, right? After all, when she does, she will fetch some and hide somewhere. If the general will not help you, then you come into the room to get something to feed. And whose mother is in the kitchen? It is the NDC's mother that is in the kitchen. They have a president. They control parliament. And
but if that principle worked, then some members of parliament didn't have to lose their seats. I mean, over the years, you see that there is a certain government, all right, but some members of parliament...
That is who you are talking. We've seen, it is in very rare cases that you see by-elections tilt the other way around.
Okay.
It is in very rare situations.
It's in the analogy of whose mother is in the kitchen.
Yes, I'm just saying that. But when it comes to whose mother is in the kitchen, when it's general elections, then it means that all of us have lost our mothers. And so let's go and start searching for our mothers. And at that point, people go in there to go and cast vote. And that one, you cannot concentrate resources in one particular area. So you have to, what do I call it? You have to distribute the resources and to find out where you are strong, so you maximize votes. Where you are weak, you minimize the votes. And in this instance, I think that it will be a surprise that the NDC doesn't win. It will be a surprise because everybody is there.
Okay.
Everybody is there. And once everybody is there, everybody is spending. Right? Yeah. So you may think that, I've heard that there is no vote buying and what have you. But the AMA boss and all his people are there. They are supporting and tipping people to go out there and vote. That may not be the official party stance, but they are spending. CEOs of almost all the state institutions are there. Yeah. They are spending. Will the NPP have the same steam? No.
Okay.
But
Doc, yeah.
I also think that, just in support of what Honorable Mona has said, the political capital and social capital of President Mahama is so huge at this moment because he's still in a honeymoon period and he's doing very well. And because of that, these factors will propel Bernard Bediako to victory. If he doesn't win, like Honorable Mona has said, his namesake Bernard is going to win, and if he doesn't win, then we will all be very, very surprised. It is also a validation exercise for NDC to see whether the programs that they have launched, the people actually are in support of it. And if NPP wins, if Solomon wins, then NDC have to sit up.
Well, what would that mean? What would that mean?
It will mean that people are not in support, not in alignment with the programs of the NDC. But so far, NDC hasn't done anything that will make people reject it. And so for me, this validation has to happen to give more confidence to the government, to the operatives within the party to work very well. Even though we see a little bit of cleavages happening within the party because of appointments and friends and family kinds of appointments that are happening, they need to correct that. Because if it continues, some of the foot soldiers are complaining they are being neglected. But they are also, NDC government is also creating jobs for the youth. So you see, it's one side down, one side up. Today is up, today is up. So it's very, very difficult to make a conclusive statement about where NDC's acceptance is right now amongst the populace. Okay. This is a validation.
Let's stay with the security part. I mean, now everybody says that it's been relatively peaceful, it's been okay. I like to think that it's usually when the counting starts. And then a part would say that, well, usually this area we should be winning, and the numbers are not adding up the way they expect. This is where you suspect that pockets of violence will start. This is where you have history of ballot snatching, people, which actually happened here in the same constituency, 2009.
I know.
Yes, and so at this point, I see that the police are quite calm. Do you expect this level of security adherence when we start counting?
I think if there is an incident of ballot box snatching, the police has already done the simulation exercise. What I don't like about that simulation exercise is making it available to the media and to the public. The public doesn't have a right to know the strategy and the tactics of the police for a particular intervention. Having made it very clear to the public, now if I wanted to snatch a ballot, I know what I would do. I know how to misdirect you because I know what your strategy is. I know what your tactic is. So I believe that the counting phase is probably the most tense, the most critical moment, irrespective of the 5,500 police men and women on duty at Akwatia. There are still loopholes that somebody determined, a group determined, can actually sail through.
I still want us to revisit the point where you made that the module that the IGP has introduced or that he has started will be quite difficult for him to sustain. I want you to break that down because, again, I insist and I hear both of you are nearly on that same page. That is quite an unsustainable approach. But I also maintain that not all of the constituencies are the same.
There are a number of hotspots when it comes to election in this country. So how many of these hotspots do we have? And as we get towards 2028, more hotspots will erupt because of the finality of having power and making decisions about equity, job distribution, status enhancement, and all of that. If government doesn't improve job creation, the more hotspots will erupt. And when it does, if we have 50 hotspots now.
No, please stay with me. We'll visit the hotspot conversation again, but I'll take our viewers back to Akwatia, where my colleague Blessed Soga is engaging some voters as well.
Guys, everywhere, you can attest to that fact. I have not seen any NPP team going around. The only thing I saw, few guys coming to create confusion. Some of their leaders came ordering that they should pull off posters and pictures and things, which is not necessary. We came with a message, the reset agenda message from JDM, development program. We are now realizing that there's big awareness in the country. Everybody is highly to encourage our brothers and sisters, come on board, be part of the reset agenda, and let's understand what is happening.
Do you have a margin by which maybe you want to win the election?
Oh, I, as a sportsman and as a politician,
That's good, but we see that some people are sitting.
They are doing less than 1 kilometer of the road. Yes, it's but 1 kilometer. We have Osandu to 5 kilometer road. Yeah. So this is pure scam. If NDC want to construct this road, from tomorrow they will lose tonight. From tomorrow they should continue. We want to see asphalt on this road.
Right.
Yes, we the people of Akwatia, we want to see asphalt on this road.
Right.
To be sure said, they want to construct this road. For now, as I'm talking to you now, as this time 148. It's a pure scam to me. This thing is a pure scam to me. Yes. If they want to construct this road, they should carry on.
Right, so you've also been plying the route, and I'm sure you've been through some of the major routes as well. This individual is saying that the NDC is trying to convince the constituency here to vote for them, and that is why they've brought excavators here to ensure that the road is smoothing for easy access. What do you have to say about that as well?
Oh, okay, thank you very much. For TV3, right?
Right.
Okay, good. My name is Francis. What I can say is that, for what I know is that the NDC is capable of development.
Right.
It's not about the election. Because when chairman came around, he told us that we should bring at least 3 people.
Right.
So that they will go to Accra and then they will have a contract. As they came back, you can see the work is going on. So for me, I see that they are ready to work. The NDC is ready to work, not about the election coming on or something like that.
Have you voted yet?
Not really, but I'm now going to vote.
Okay.
And as you can see, this is my voter's card.
Right.
I'm voting at the Presley school there. So I'll be going anytime.
Who are you voting for?
Oh, for now, I can't tell you, but as you can see, everywhere is green. So, for me, I'm going for green.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. We'll continue to speak with a lot more residents as well. This vehicle that is just passing by has mentioned that it's been a smooth process for them, and what they aim to achieve at the end of the day is to ensure that once they are applying the road, they will be able to have access through it smoothly. So they see it as a developmental project.
As far as you make that choice, you will never regret it. Just 2 days ago, 3 days ago, we commissioned a very beautiful state-of-the-art DVLA sort of office in Akwatia. More would come once you choose the right people. So we plead with them, come out. Don't be worried. The police are there to protect us. We are all very aware of what is happening. So just choose wisely, and by the end of the day, Ghana, Akwatia will be the better for it, and Ghana will be the better for it as well. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Well, Doc, we've just come back from Akwatia, where some voters have been sharing their sentiments as well. But Doc, you were on the matter of hotspots, yeah?
Yes.
Right.
Right, so he's basically saying that they've already made up their mind when it comes to exactly what they want to do or who they would want to cast their vote for. And he is going to have a stance and wouldn't really be persuaded by all of the construction that is happening already, because this just happened after they realized that the voting exercise was going to happen here. Into no, may I sure say what's what monitor say Bibia Eba Bekoson and Afido Mo a road no. I want to say what Kumo had share mu roads no generally in the Senate here and I more complaining on why Abra Jumebia or Manya for Hoda.
Oh, Siano, ya kwane de ya kan amonye so that say ana ya ibi so de me black kan what de me black so ka say it Siano ye no empuntuo ne ye pe okro na ye so ye kwan na Siano ye pesa mo ye do e fa ne say mo na mo say ama ban e wo so. Okay. What I say? Okay. By no yahu beble ati beble yomba amu kanu yahu beble ati beble. By Siano as a lesson no ebe koso no ana amu ya dey amu ba be ya sa ade we wa bai ye mo ya be mu se de omu be no ana be fa so ya be to abai de ama won enti de omu ya ne de ye wu won amu yo amanyo be bia ya adwen won no ya adwen won.
Right. So an NDC observer is also here, Stephen Atuguba, who was actually moving away with his convoy from the polling center here. And I'll also be engaging him as well. A lot of the constituents here are saying that the construction is ongoing for the NDC to gain some political points as far as the by-election is concerned. How do you react to this as a member of the National Democratic Congress? And do you agree with what they are saying?
I'm a member of the National Liberation Congress.
Okay.
A leader and founder.
Oh.
But the NDC is my mother party.
Great.
Without NDC, I wouldn't be where I am today. But in moving forward, we are blessed to have a president, John Dramani Mahama.
Let's get to speak to Sami Ewuku.
Irrespective of whether it's an orphanage constituency or not. But it is wise, very wise and very prudent. And I think if the people of Akwatia, from Takoradi all the way to Wenchi that have been assigned officially as one of the observers, I think it is good for them to make sure Bediako goes to Parliament, because there's a saying in Akan that Akokwa obe onino enori abebesre. And I think I've been here for a while. I've gone to door, I've gone to a lot of houses. Most of the NPP people that I entered their homes and they say, Mr. Tubiga, Mumubi Abani there. It is a Pempuntu Juma or a Kuru Mahase. Ye say, ye the MPP candidate, ye candidate MPP no corner. That's so my emphasis here because Wanko, NDC majority of Parliament.
You seem not to be concerned about the state of the roads and the question that I posed to you.
The roads, that's why I'm saying that I'm trying to throw it out there for the people who think that JDM wouldn't have done whatever they say now. JDM would have done it, but he bringing it earlier right now shows that when the people, the community of Akwatia allows the PC, Bediako, to have a NDC parliamentary candidate or NDC MP, and also having a NDC, what's his name, MCE,
right,
together, they will see massive development. Akwatia will move forward. I am happy what I've seen. There's a lot of projects going on, and I'm appealing to the people of Akwatia. They should not disappoint the PC. They should not disappoint the president. Look, we have 16 regions. We have 276 constituencies. The unprecedented projects, roads that is being constructed here that I've seen.
Right.
I mean, let us all, both opposition political parties, let us applaud and thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama with Bediako.
Right.
Bediako is the only person, as the Chief of Staff, has been able to promise that when you bring me Bediako, I being the Chief of Staff, I will make sure that the best Chief of Staff this country has ever had is Julius Debra.
Right.
The best Chief of Staff that we think when the people of Akwatia
polling centers, and they are so far impressed with what has happened. He has indicated that everything is fair, everything is frank with him. We will try to. You see the NPP's candidate Asumedu inside the vehicle waving at the voters here at the Apiakrom Apraman School Park. From here, they are going to various polling stations. We are unable to talk to Asumedu because he is doing on a tour with Samia Uku. But then I have Haruna Mohammed with me. He has been with me here at the Apraman School Park for a very long time. I see Asumedu and he is waving at the voters. Samia Uku tells me that they are going to the various polling centers. So far they are impressed. You've also showed your impression so far. Are you still maintaining the fact that everything is in order?
Yes, I am very confident. For Junase, 3 polling stations, Apreman, 6 polling stations. Honorable Asumedu is going to win in the 9 polling stations that I'm manning. And I'm very confident that victory is going to be ours.
Okay, and in looking at the fact that when we came in here, a lot of people were coming all over your candidates. Does this show a sign that Asumedu would clinch the ultimate at the end of polls?
You see, one thing many people don't know about Asumedu is that this is a young man who has established companies within Akwatia. And if you check very well, Tropremai, Apremai, Junase, and all the villages around here, all the communities, Sechikrum, all of them, their main source of income is mining.
By-election, well, the final verdict lies with the constituents in that area. However, one major talking point has been that of turnout. In the next few minutes, we'll be talking or taking you through how turnouts over the years of election as compared to the national average
turnout
have
factors,
been quite
that
different.
is in terms of
like the continues. We've been joined in studio by Johnny Hughes of Johnny's Bite. Yes, if you do know him, he's joined us in studio. Hello, Johnny.
Hey, Martin. I'm good to see Dr. Stephen Atubiga. Yes. Then I was looking at him and watching with Al, thinking, is that the same Stephen Atubiga who literally denigrated the NDC, you know, took them to the gutters, and is now back, and every least opportunity keeps talking about the fact that the NDC is the mother party, etc. I really want to know what the end game is for him, you know, on his own resources and, you know, crisscrossing the Akwatia
like the fact that he says that
constituency.
I've gone house to house to campaign.
Exactly. 119 polling stations. It's quite interesting. Well, time changes. It's only a fool who doesn't change his mind, perhaps.
Certainly.
And change is only the only constant in life. But we're going to talk about the figures and some of the key highlights from the Akwatia constituency. We do know that the Akwatia constituency itself has lent itself as a swing constituency. 5 times they voted for the NPP, 4 times they voted for the NDC. This could perhaps be the leveler and the bragging right. One, for the NPP to say that, well, we still have a hold on Akwatia, and for the NDC to say that going to the 2028 elections, we possibly will be able to clinch it for ourselves. Our men are on the ground. We'll bring you all the fine details as we have already done. The no-holds-barred analysis by our top-notch panelists will also be there. But Martin, let's take a look at the Akwatia figures, though. The national turnout, indeed. I'm sure we can begin safely from the year 2000, because if you go to 1992, the NPP didn't participate. In 1996, there was a competitive election.
Absolutely.
The NDC won. Then in 2000 comes in President Kufuor, and that was when, again, the NPP came in strongly and won. What more do we know, Martin?
Yes, so what we're looking at now is the fact that when you look, so this is generally the voter turnout, and it's been one of the concerns that have been raised since morning, and with about 2 hours of polls to end, are people still going to now rush to the various polling stations to try and vote? And we are comparing it to the national average, and you can tell clearly that for the national average, so these 2 lines, the red and the black, the red is for the turnout for the constituents of Akwatia, and then the black is for the national turnout. So what we are looking at now is that from 2000 up until even today, or the last major election we had was in 2024, constituents of Akwatia have turned out averagely more than the national average. So it just gives an impression that they seem to like to want to vote, or they like to participate in the democratic process. So in 2000, where we are starting from, we have 63% as the 63.4% turnout rate as against 62 for the national average. Again, fast forward to 2024, they even came out more, so 90.9%. That's almost 91%.
That's right. This was in the second term of President Kufuor.
President Kufuor, yes. And then 85% was the national average turnout. And they managed to maintain that in 2008. Again, that is when an NDC party came, so there was a change in government. So it moved from 90.9% or 91% to 88%. So there was a slight dip from what the turnout was in 2024 if you compare it to 2008. I should look at the numbers very, because 2004 and 2024 seem to be mixed up. If you look clearly, the national turnout in 2008 was a major dip, because there was a major drop from 85.3% to 69. Let's say even 70%. So that tells you that the national average turnout in Akwatia was low, but the constituents themselves came out to vote. Again, if you come to 2012, when the NDC was still in power, that was the time of Professor John Evans.
No, this was John Dramani Mahama's own election.
Yes. Then the constituents turned out in 86.1% as against the national average of 80% or 79.9%. The national and the constituency average both dipped in 2016, but that was the year Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, became president. And if you look at the turnout, still Akwatia was high, but both national and constituency averages were lower. So 73.9% for constituents of Akwatia, and the national average was 69%. It went up in 2020. 83% for the constituents, and then 79 for Akwatia for the national average. And there was quite a gap that opened in 2024, the just ended election, and constituents of Akwatia came out 70% as against 59.6%. But we should bring in the fact that in 2009,
right,
there was a by-election in Akwatia,
that's right,
which was very violent.
That's right.
For which reason the security thought that they needed to ensure that history does not repeat itself, where on the back of that they've sent over 5,000 police officers for a by-election. Very unprecedented.
That's really, if you ask me, the 5,000 men on the ground is really an overkill, because it's, for me, it's a matter of systems, and it's a matter of knowing that this is a flashpoint, because we declare places a flashpoint and we leave them until the next election. But if it's a flashpoint, what else are you doing to ensure that it doesn't remain a flashpoint, so that you don't have to marshal 5,000 people to Akwatia? I mean, look at the UN ratio of one policeman to how many citizens are there in Akwatia, for example. And if we take 5,000 policemen to Akwatia at this point, what does it mean for the national security itself in terms of internal security? It's a big conversation of myself. We must not all lose sight of the fact that we are all not in Akwatia or at Akwatia at this material point in time, and that things could be happening in many other places. Is the police up to the task, especially now that we know that we've been told not to bring the military and, you know, people wearing balaclavas into the conversation? But if you look at the figures, you notice that 2000, 2008, 2012, 2016, and if you like, 2024 are different standpoints within the Akwatia turnout points that have reflected the change of a government. This was in 2000 when President Kufuor was coming in, 2008 Professor Mills, 2012 John Mahama, 2016 Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, 2024 John Dramani Mahama. And Akwatia has always tilted towards the government that's coming in, except for the 2024 elections that went the way of the NPP, which was contested in courts, in the Akufo-Addo High Court, etc. But then again, the dynamics in Akwatia also will tell you that beyond the mining, there are many other things that the people of Akwatia are demanding, which the political class may have to be paying attention to them. The fact that it's a strictly swing constituency in itself is a story to tell. That's one. Point number two, if you listen to the campaigns and the people's reaction to the various campaigns, some of the ladies were blatantly saying that, look, we have been raised with money, and so we love money. And so if you come here and you don't talk the money talk, we ain't going to vote for you. That's one conversation. How do we depart from it, especially if we're looking at a national conversation that says that we must not monetize or commoditize our politics and our, you know, it tells in all of the what do you call it? The turnouts to go and vote. Even though you talk about 2008, then 2009, where it was violent, you see the dip right there. It tells you a particular story. This was the Kufuor era, the second term. Look at the big shoot for Akwatia itself. And then you come, they didn't see that kind of shoot. The only time they saw that kind of shoot again was in 2020, which was almost close to that. But in 2012, even with all the mercy votes and all the sympathy and empathy that John Mahama had enjoyed at the time because of the demise of Professor Mills, he had waged a 3-man campaign, etc. It didn't shoot up to that point. So politicians, if they really are concerned about, holding on to Akwatia, they must be bringing their A game forward, I tell you.
Certainly. So the other key things we are looking at would have to do with, the general by-elections we've held in the country since 1992. And the current by-election ongoing in Akwatia is the 34th by-election since the 4th.
That's correct.
The current dispensation that we are in. And out of the 34, or the 33, it has swung either way. But one party has dominated. So since 1992, we have had 33 by-elections. Today is the 34th one. The retention rate, which means the percentage rate of a party retaining the seat in a by-election is 82%. And we will look at which party has actually been able to retain whether or not there's a by-election. And then the flip rate is about 18%, where the opposition...
Party A had the seat, a by-election is occasioned, then Party B wins
during a by-election. Certainly. So that's the flip rate. So it's just about 18%. So what this tells us is that the possibility of a party retaining the seat in a by-election is high or has been high over the last few years.
That is, if certain conditions pertain,
remain constant.
That's right.
Yes, but it also doesn't mean that it is a constant. It means that there's certainly some level of change, but relatively very low, 18% as against 82% possibility of a retention rate.
That's
the NPP will hope that this statistic would work in their favor, while the NDC, as we speak, is hoping.
All securities here in the heavy security now I'm a hard time cool. I in him say copy my number. Not say I never ya. Me sure say the good results beba. I'm at the NDC will victory. Oh, in shed down kosa asata here kobo one no kobo bi kura. O share the background. Nipa 704 na say to aba. But me no kasa sisi almost 126 and a to aba. Aha. Into Yabaha in the morning around 8:40. Now here Nipa also 459. Nipa to about 55. Aha. Into the by-election is different from the general election. Into the expectation, you know, the intimate man say Obenyana say we, but you try best. Say you know be more work to you know be a war baby near day. Nothing. When she had the intimidation or NDC form. On Babeto by a Burubinum, your Pambinum, any other. But you are sure to say on a bamboo really safe. In Jamaica and so obey Pieba. Obey Piana and two Obama who heavy security say that. It was a nipper Pieba in Nipa said, you back I said, maybe at the turnout to me a great baby. Say, hey, I buy a two had a wenchi. When him say, oh no, maybe I travel 9 years on a grove will be got tall. Said the Sabi Galam say pitim. So what I say, the two about your Burubinum, your Pambinum, into IGP, I try the best. I security our hand. He said, no, I bet to me up by 5 p.m. never to abandon there. We be very okay.
Afi Akwatia ya bayi ekofi ya mfo ne na minsentro ebopini Ora Collins Dauda. Yenim se enra ene beto dwa se mampanyi eka anase wode krata pia bontin a wo kyese Abraham penifo kosi nkonwa no Chief Justice Sabre yeyi ne to akonwa yeyi no afiri ne dibre ho esan petition a wo mo kyereko ye bo ho committee ma wo mo eye mu hwehwemu wie ye recommendation o mo de ba ye ne sade emra no ka no e na mampanyi gina so e ma weyi no afiri ho na onimonyamfo Collins Dauda ensentwerofo de baabi e be hia obi a asem bia yetimi bisa nti o mu bisa no so e ho asem e ma Akwatia ho no ano anu ya o de ma ensentwerofo ni.
It is the minority leader who is a confused politician. He's confused because we went through the processes outlined in the Constitution. For the removal of the Chief Justice, the Constitution clearly defines the processes that one has to go through to get the Chief Justice removed. He should cite a breach.
They said there were 3 petitions.
In court. And you are charged for 4 counts, and you are cleared for 3, and you lose 1, and the one that you lose, you are supposed to go for a prison sentence. The court will not say that because you won the 3, the 1 you must go away. They will jail you because of the 1. It's the same thing. 3 petitions and 1 indicts you, and you want us to wait. That is the thinking of the minority leader.
For the sake of transparency, Alaji.
For the sake of what?
Transparency.
We have been transparent. We have been transparent. The report is clear that she must be removed, and she has been removed by the president in accordance with laid down processes of our constitution.
Is anybody going next?
Conversation while we monitor what's happening on the ground and bring you all of that right here on your election command center.
Indeed, Martin, thank you so much, you and Johnny Hughes. Quite an in-depth analysis of what we've seen as regards Akwatia and even the national situation when it comes to voting. And we'll be going into that bit about what it looks like, a constituency that has seen or that has been more interested in voting, even above the national, average, and yet this is the kind of development they have in that town. But I want to start from this road construction, as it were, currently ongoing there. And there's actually a question from someone asking whether this is part of the big push thing that, the president has been highlighting, or just like we heard one of the people we spoke to say, is a scam. Why are you doing it now?
I was supposed to speak.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, Prof was talking about the issue. Yeah, Prof was talking about incumbency and whether incumbency was going to play any role in today's elections. But you see, incumbency would normally play a role when the margins are tight. If the margins are tight, then it becomes easy to flip. In the case of Akwatia, if you could see, in the last election, the margin was a bit tighter. And so certainly incumbency would play a role, especially when people have seen physical development. This argument of this is a scam, of course, if somebody had done it previously, this government wouldn't have to come and put sand on the road. So there are people who appreciate that effort, that at least we are seeing development, we are seeing some road construction for the first time, maybe in the last 8 years.
Like Atubiga, he told us straight ahead.
So incumbency will certainly play a role in today's election. And also, another factor which probably we've not spoken about it today is even the mode of selection of the political parties themselves, how NPP selected its candidate, whether it's going to have any effect on the elections, whether people were satisfied with the fact that they didn't allow democracy to prevail, but they instead of allowing people to contest, they selected one person to contest. A dead person, someone dies, and they select Owo to replace the person, and that's quite interesting. NDC decided to open up and allow democracy to prevail, to elect someone to lead the party. The person also happens to be the lawyer.
Quite an interesting circumstance.
Yes, so we are going to see how these two situations are going to play out and whether they are going to have any kind of effect on the elections. But certainly there are people who would always want to align. Of course, the kind of system we have is that normally MPs in a ruling party normally tend to have advantage over the MPs in opposition in terms of getting development projects to your constituency. So certainly there are people who would consider that and vote. No wonder in the survey by
is it Musa Dankwa?
Musa Dankwa said about 46 or 48% of the people were concerned about development. Mm-hmm. They want to see development because the irony is that if you go to most of our mining areas, the major problems there are their roads. That is a paradox that we need to try to decode, because why is it that where we get our money mostly from gold, their routes are very poor?
To an extent that even since CD, the consolidated diamonds, that company collapsed, as at 2024, I understand that the country got about $8 or $6 billion from just illegal mining of diamonds in Akwatia alone. Imagine if that company was still in place.
So the point is that certainly there are going to be varied reasons why people would vote today. And I'm saying that certainly incumbency will play a role, given the fact that the area over the years has been abandoned. Politicians have ignored them. If you look at the pictures we've seen in respect of their roads, they've been ignored. So they want to take advantage of the situation. And don't forget, this election will also be a precursor for the 2028 elections. So whoever wins today would want to maintain the seats. And so the question is, how is it going to be? If NDC guy wins, will the NDC then focus on the constituency to send more projects so that the guy will win in 2028, or if people vote for you because of the promise or because of what you started doing, if you stop, the effect is that it's going to affect you in 2028. So it's going to, the dynamics are a bit, it's not clear as to, but if I would say that given what is happening, it's likely the NDC guy will win this.
It's likely the NDC guy would. And Professor Smasapon, I realize you're reacting a lot. Even when I mentioned the scam and Atubige's response and what Mr. Beckham just, told us. Bachman.
Yes. So, as for the likelihood of Lawyer B3 winning, it is a likelihood. And same as, and because of the nature of the constituency, if you hear the analysis, it's been in, out, blue, green, like that. So at least what we are so sure of is that the third guy, Owusu Asante guy, there are three. So we will talk about the two because that one we are very sure he won't come anywhere close. But what we are very sure of,
you are very sure.
Respectfully, I mean, with all due respect to
where is he going to eat? In which bowl is he going to eat from?
He doesn't have a bowl.
No, what are we be able to eat from? NDC's bowl or NPP's bowl? It will certainly have effect.
But there are independent candidates in Parliament, so.
But you see, but even in his case, he has done well. You see, let's applaud the LPG, at least for putting up a candidate. They usually don't do well, but they try as much as possible to participate in almost every elections that we do conduct. It is better than the other political parties who shows off only 3 months to general elections.
Show off action.
Yeah, just 3 months. When you hear IPAC meeting, go check the list of political parties who would register to attend the meeting. And now we meet at Akwatia, and we have only 3. Do you get it? So please, political parties do not just exist by name, all right? Take interest. It's not about winning or losing. Be part of the democracy we are building. You have registered to be a political party, and these are occasions where political parties are called to duty.
And I think that's a point Mr. Bachman made earlier, that they should be mindful that they are part of the country's development and not just there to win elections.
No. They need to be told that. And, I mean, some of them have fine names, fine history, but you find them only 3 months to 2028. If you like, market somewhere. The 3 months to 2028, then they will nominate one person, go and be flag bearer, this one, this, that. We are gone. Please, it won't help us. But, I mean, back to the subject matter, what I'm saying is that as for the two of them, the likelihood of one of them winning today is a certainty. But then, my point was that, and like the analysis was showing, in our history, once we have occasions where 4 occasions, political parties in government did not have their candidates win a by-election, 2 going for NPP, 2 going for NDC. It means that we wouldn't make it automatic that once you're government, even though it favors you, like I said, the most winnable campaign in a by-election is the developmental campaign, and who was the key to development. But in 4 instances here in Ghana, it has turned out to be different. We don't know how Akwatia is going to turn out, but it is not like a straight jacket. It's going to be hard work. And you saw the way the NDC and its senior members invaded. If it was a straight jacket, perhaps the level of energy and engagement you saw wouldn't be there. So let's see how it turns out. But then, the consensus matter my brother spoke about, I think consensus is also part of democracy, just that it is used sparingly. It is not the usual means of selecting leaders in democracy, but there's been many occasions where under democracy, consensus has been used. And so it is just, I don't know what how their meeting went about. I was also expecting a primaries until I heard that a meeting has gone on regional level, constituency level.
And there was selection.
There was selection. It is part of democracy to build consensus where necessary. In fact, we encourage members of parliament to build consensus and not to be walking out anytime the opportunity comes. It is democracy. It is part of democracy.
Is that a subtle jab at one of the
no. But no, see, in our history, we've had, even with the 137, then this is sometimes walked out of parliament. So I'm just speaking generally that sometimes let's build consensus. And then I would want to see their individual contributions because these two guys are real constituency people. And so occasions like this, be able to say that these are my offsprings, my people. When I come to Akwatia, at least I have these people who I've helped one way or the other, pro bonos, establishing firms and recruiting them and all those things. And they have all trooped behind me to help me in my campaign and all this. I usually don't like the idea where people will have to come from Accra and elsewhere to invade a local constituency in constituency campaigns and those things. But I mean, you can't also say people should stay in Accra whilst the epicenter is at Akwatia. But as much as possible, let's have the local people lead the campaign and get involved in all those things. But it's all good. My point is that democracy, and then the Uwo, Beatrice, the last one, the Uwo, I thought it was perhaps a name, a response to a name. You know, in Akan, some names have their response. Yes. So, for example, I don't know whether it is true. I stand to be corrected.
Upon Chicheku.
Upon Chicheku. Yes. When I was told that President Kufuor was Diewu, I don't know whether it is a matter of fact.
But Diewu is a name. It's different from Owo.
Yes. But yes. Owo is in it thereabout. But once it's a nickname,
your guy name is Owo. That's dangerous.
Especially when Owo is selected to replace somebody who was
taken by Owo.
That's interesting.
Yes.
But once it's a nickname, I think we will not.
Yeah.
Please forgive us.
And I'll be coming to Johnny very shortly. But there's a message from Reverend Emmanuel K. A. Kwao, and he says, I would like to commend you, Professor Inokenchi, founder of the Enoch Servant Leadership Foundation and Dean of Business and Communication at Academy City, for insightful contributions on the ongoing TV3 program Election Command Center on September 2, 2025. Your articulate discussion on the Akwatia by-election showcasing your commitment as a trusted peace advocate, alongside Dr. Ebo Bachman, who's...
I don't want
you don't want any problem from GTech? Yeah. Okay, so, Rev, Mr. Ebo Bachman says he's not a doctor yet. He doesn't want any trouble from GTech. No. So, alongside Mr. Ebo Bachman, whose contributions on election monetization are equally noteworthy, Professor Entry, you exemplified the values of servanthood and leadership that can guide Ghana.
I say your mother. I say your mother. Look, I can't your mother. I say your mother. I say your mother. Look, there's a freedom. Papa, I'm not for say and Yampran someone. Uba Fatoki. Me Tonama come back by election.
What accounts were you given really of what happened? We understand that Afenyo Markin was here.
Because of him, where we come here.
You came here because of Afenyo Markin?
We don't do by election in Womta.
Why? Why did you come here because of Afenyo Markin?
Why did you work here? Is it NDC? Is it NDC secretary? Is it NDC secretary? You are coming to our office to do what in our office? Answer. You people journalists, talk to them. Here no be public where they do. Here is a freedom, a field.
All right. We papa our NDC.
To reposition yourself. You're fighting against the wind. Yes, it's better now.
Great. So I was just reporting that the entire process has been very calm since morning.
Right.
But about 2 hours ago, a number of bodily built men or hefty men walked into the station. Came into the station. This lorry station is actually hosting 2 of the polling centers. And so when they came in, everybody was thinking that these people are just coming to observe the process to a point and then retreat or go back. But when they came, they have been here and they've been intermittently moving around the polling center. As I speak, they've gone to converge at one of the entry points into the auditorium or the premises of the polling center. I spoke to the people, I spoke to some of the police officers, and they said they are just observing them, they are observing their movement, and that when they came, they did not ask them anything, they did not question them, they did not even call them and ask them anything. But what the police officer told me was that they are just observing their movement, and that whatever transpired in Ablekuma North, they are going to ensure that they are not going to leave anything to chance. So they can look around, nobody's going to ask them anything. But once they try to foment trouble, that's one, they are not going to allow them. And so I must say that the process, like I said, I indicated earlier, has been very calm and peaceful. The electorates have been going through the process to exercise their civic franchise. As I speak, one of the polling stations has about 624 registered voters, and as I speak, about half of them have gone through the process successfully.
Right.
The police deployments have been very massive over here, and then there is other teams, other backup teams also patrolling the community. So every 1 minute you will hear a siren of a police siren going around the community, just trying to fall any chaos or prevent crime. And so I must say that everything is moving on smoothly, but these people are still lurking around, and we hope that by the time polls will end, they are not going to foment any trouble.
Do we know if they are within the perimeter where the electorates are supposed to exercise their franchise, Stanley?
So they've been coming in, and so just a couple of minutes ago, one of the regional commanders who has been detailed to oversee activities of this polling station moved in with some men, and he has given them tape to cordon off the entire electoral area.
Right.
So if you are not a voter, you'll not be granted access to that perimeter. But then there is a bigger space. It's a lorry station, so people have been trooping in, and vehicles too have been trooping in. They are working, they are running their usual routine or daily routine, and so people come in to board vehicles to their various destinations. But I speak, there is a very huge place that people can just wander or roam about. The police are numbered, they are highly picked up, and they are observing things for themselves.
The Maria, the Black Maria vehicle, the prison on wheels, have you seen it around the area?
Yes, of course. So the Black Maria, it's not just one, but a number of that vehicle. And then also there are police deployment. You know, the IGP, the police management board, which is from earlier, they just indicated that they are deploying 5,000 men. And so as part of the deployment, some of the 5,000 are going to serve as backup teams. And so a number of them too are also patrolling, like I indicated. Some are in pickups, they are wielding arms. Others are also on motorbike. And then those who are also using the Black Maria. So these three categories of protection or individuals are also in operation. Every 1 minute or later every 5 minutes, you're going to hear a siren of a police vehicle moving around the community, signaling that, yes, the police is in charge of this election.
Thank you very much, Stanley. We're grateful for your time, and keep safe there. Well, from Stanley, we go to Christian Yali, who is at Takrasi, and that's also one of the polling stations or polling areas in the Akwatia constituency, one of the 100.
Live on Angel. Live on Angel. Where the one me papa Papa, I'm for say and Yampran someone.
Oba party office. Oba party office. Me to them come back by election pro.
Chief Osaka, what accounts were you given really of what happened? We understand that Afenyo Markin was here.
Because of him, where we come here.
You came here because of Afenyo Markin?
We don't do by election in Womta.
Why? Why did you come here because of Afenyo Markin?
Why did you watch here? Is it NDC? Is it NDC secretary? Is it NDC secretary? You are coming to our office to do what in our office? You people journalists, talk to them. Here no be public where they do. Here is a freedom, a field.
All right, we yeah, papa, our
second your mother. I said your mother. I said your mother.
Oh, that's a yeah,